Astros
seemingly
seemingly turned things around as of recently. Would you say they're on their way to being back and health-wise getting better too, Heel?
Oh yeah, this team is so back. Well, kinda. Still under 500.
Yeah. So sorry, kind of for the delay. Life and stuff happens. Schedules, whatnot. But I have been watching the games, everything. And kind of that's what started off was that 10-game road stand. You dropped two in Minnesota, but then you go on, you sweep the Cubs, you throw a no-hitter against the Rangers, take 3 out of 4, and then even with this Brewers series, I wouldn't say that this Brewers series really gave me any worries, because the starting pitching was still good overall in this Brewers series. And that's kind of the one thing I want to get about is that over this stretch of the Astros at 7-3 in their last 10, playing really good baseball as of recently, Yordan Alvarez mashing the ball. The starting pitching has seemed to kind of stabilize itself a little bit, wouldn't you say, over the stretch?
Oh yeah, and Yordan is smashing the ball so well. I think his wife's starting to get jealous.
Oh my god. That caught me off guard. But with Spencer Arrighetti, he's been amazing. Peter Lambert, he hasn't been like the lockdown he was initially, but he's still a very serviceable pitcher. Going to go out there, give you 5-6 hard-earned innings. And the one thing that I liked about Lambert is that even when he doesn't have his best stuff, he will go out there and fight for those 5 to 6 innings and try and save the bullpen. And Mike Burrows, you never know what you're going to get with him. Some days he's good, some days he's bad, but he's been better as of recently. He's had a couple of hiccups here and there. Lefties still smash Mike Burrows, but he needs to work on that. And Tatsuya Imai, I feel like he's starting to come into his own a little bit. Yes, it's not perfect, but he's definitely starting to show signs of life. And that's really all you can hope for with a guy who's struggling to adjust to the MLB culture and, living overseas and everything.
Yeah, Imai is definitely starting to find his groove, and thank goodness, because that contract was not looking good at the start of the year. Even the loss wasn't his fault. And on top of that, this season so far has basically been a story of unsung heroes that weren't even supposed to be on the main roster at the start of the year, like Lambert and Arrighetti, and I know he was on the main roster. I know he was on the main roster at the start of the year, but yeah, Kaiwei Tang, people that you were not putting your dollar on, or betting on to, basically be an important part of this team.
And I feel like we have to give credit where credit's due. And Dana Brown went out and found these guys and threw the dart at the wall and said, hey, maybe this will work if for depth. And it did. I'm still not a big Dana Brown fan by any means, but his ability to go out there and kind of find these bridge guys, these guys who can go out there and play serviceable baseball is commendable. There's one thing he can. It's not that he lacks the ability to scout for talent. It's just the fact of he's kind of dealing with the hands that he's been dealt with. So, but finding guys like Braden Shoemake, Kaiwei Tang, Peter Lambert, all these guys who have contributed very well. Nick Allen has played well. Bringing back Christian Vasquez, who's helped. And I would say ever since Yainer Diaz went on the injury, coincidence. But when Christian Vasquez started catching the majority of games, the pitchers seemed to get a lot more comfortable. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or not, but
not only that, I would say the vibe around the team is just different. And I think that's due to the part, and me and you know, we watched baseball long enough to know that the catcher is arguably, if not the most important position on the team, because even if they're not named the captain, they're essentially still the captain on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure.
them and the pitcher are the ones that dictate how the game go for the most part. Because you can have, all the rest of the players on the field to catch the ball, but if the pitcher and the catcher don't call the right pitches or deliver the right pitches, they're going over the fence. Because rather it is, a AAA guy that just got called up or whatever, they're still major league hitters at the end of the day coming up the bat, and they still got to call games.
Mm-hmm.
So Christian Vasquez, him being this big of a factor and them actually getting up to speed, out of everything that I can say I still have not changed my mind on is Yainer Diaz being a trade target at the deadline.
I definitely feel like there are some guys you could potentially move this deadline. Diaz being one of them. Basically, guys who are on 1 or 2 years left on their contract type of deal. I think now that the Astros have seemingly found their stride a little bit, unless they completely fall off the face of the earth again, that they're probably not going to sell at the deadline. And like I said, unless again, just like everything goes wrong. But players, I mean, they're playing better baseball. Players are coming back from the injured list, and we'll see where it goes from here. But definitely, I mean, Brian Abreu could definitely be a trade candidate. Yainer Diaz could be a trade candidate. The reason I say Brian Abreu is not just because of the fact that he's been not himself at all, but the fact that he's going to want a ton of money, and we're not going to give it to him. So why not just trade him for someone instead of just letting him walk if you're not going to bring him back?
Yeah, trade him for like 2 young, single A or 1 single A and double A pitcher.
Because I mean, he's just the head. He's not in the right headspace. His velo is down like 2 whole miles an hour. The control isn't there. And during this stretch of good Astros baseball, he went on like a 7 or 8 game scoreless streak. But if you watched any of those outings, it was just pure luck that he got out of them, because he would go in there and have stretches where he just couldn't throw a strike, and he'd walk like 2 or 3 guys in a row. And he'd get out of it sometimes, but that's just someone who you don't want in those spots. And he just seemingly has not been able to, he's shown signs, in a couple, he'll throw like one pitch that's like 96, borderline 97, but then he'll just go back to spraying outside of the zone. And the most recent game on Saturday, the Astros had a chance to win the game, or preserve the lead, but Brian Abreu came in and threw like 9 straight balls, walked 2 guys, and then that run eventually came home. And it's just like, how much more of a leash do you have with him? Because with Josh Hader, it was announced that Josh Hader's coming back today. You have guys who are better in those leverage spots, because now you can put Brian King in the 8th inning. You can put De Los Santos. You could put Nate Pearson, who's looked good with that high velo type stuff. Alimber Santa, who came up and finished off that combined no-hitter, he's looked really good in the couple innings that he's had. And that's kind of why I view him as a potential trade candidate, just because we have the people who could fill in for him. And if we're not going to bring him back, then why not just get anything for him? I know his value right now is not super high, because he's not himself. But
some teams will value him really high, just because pitchers in general are valued really high, because there's not some that you can view as that reliable at all. And plus, there's teams out there like the Yankees and the Red Sox and all that would just like to stack up on pitching no matter who they are.
Have you ever seen just a pitcher go from elite for 4 straight years to just falling off like this?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have. Just like names that come to mind right now. Um, probably like probably like an. Uh, for some reason, I'm thinking like an athletics pitcher somewhere.
I
Maybe
mean,
like
I'll give you an Astros example. You remember when Taylor Scott came over and he was like really good for that one year in 2023 or 2022, and then next year he was like off the team because he just fell apart.
yeah. Man, my mind. I see the visual of him right now, but I can't say his name.
It's just
there is.
the thing is like it's not like he's old. He's still young. He doesn't have an injury to our knowledge, or else why would the Astros keep pitching him if he was injured? But like, how does your fastball just drop 2 whole miles an hour and your control just go nowhere?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, I remember when Brian Abreu first came up, I was like, I knew he was a little bit of a highly touted prospect, but he was like really raw. All he could do was just throw the ball fast. He had no control. The ball would, just sometimes it would be crushed for home runs. And I was a very strong Brian Abreu hater for the longest time until he turned it around and became good. But at least back in before he was good, he could still throw the ball 97, 98 miles an hour. But now he's throwing like 94, 95 on it.
Oh, here's somewhat of a good.
And not looking at it.
Sorry. Yeah. Here's somewhat a good example. AJ Griffin.
I've heard of him.
Remember who that is?
Yeah. But I don't know how much longer this Brian Abreu leash has, how much longer you can keep putting him in leverage situations if he's just going to go out there and just whiff around the zone. Because with ABS now, a lot of teams have become more patient, and you're not going to get those outside calls anymore, and you're not going to get those outside swings that you're looking for. So,
yeah. And Luis Arias especially has gotten, like, he's actually having a resurgence. Because last year he did not do well. Now he's having a better year this year. Luis Arias.
Yeah. And another thing, the offense has been better. Again, because I believe in May, before this stretch of games, the Astros were on track to have one of their worst offensive months in team history. Because if you remember before the stretch, they were scoring like 1-2 runs a game, and it was just terrible. But then Jordan got out of his little funk that he was in, and the team started hitting.
Yeah, I mean, what is a funk for Jordan though? That's my question. Like 2 weeks. not hitting home run.
Jordan's funk is like he's in a funk, but he still has a 300 average and 1,000 plus OPS.
Yeah, like Jordan's funk would be like any player's like dream week, pretty much.
And some guys, Pena, he started to look after coming. He's starting to come back and look good from that injury, playing some good defense, having some good at bats. Christian Walker, one of the league leaders in RBIs, he's been great. Taylor Trammell, he came back from injury and he continued where he left off, and he's been a very serviceable outfielder. He's hitting over 350 right now, and I mean, that's not sustainable for him, but he's doing really good. He's doing really good. So.
Yeah, realistically, Taylor Trammell is going to be like a nice platoon outfielder that is fast, and he's probably going to hit like 230, 220.
But if you look at his career numbers, it's like he's a career like 200 hitter in the major league, so he's just having a really hot streak right now.
Yeah, or with our luck, who knows? Maybe the Astros found something in his swing that's going to make him hit better.
Cam Smith, who during that month looked terrible. Over this stretch, he's batting over 300. He's mashed some home runs. He did was it the Rangers series where he had that home run robbery against someone? I think. Yeah.
I think it was. But I tell you what, when Cam Smith gets a hold of one, oh my, it is.
He crushes the ball. He has all. we just like as much as Cam Smith frustrates me. Sometimes I have to remember that this guy literally skipped Double A and Triple A and came up at like 22 years old, only having played like maybe 40 career minor league games. He's such an athlete. He has so much raw power, and he he knows the zone well, even though sometimes he does strike out. But when he strikes out, he strikes out swinging at a ball like in the zone. So. But
yeah, we have to give him the Jeremy Pena treatment. We have to give him time
because he's going to be a 5-tool all-star one day. I just believe that.
Yeah, like he's probably not going to be Hall of Famer, but he's definitely going to be like maybe like the next Hunter Pence or something like that, where like we can expect 20, 25 bombs and really around 60. Yeah, 60 to 80 RBIs, depending on where he bats in the order. And like you said, really do great defense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just hope he doesn't get traded to the Giants and then lead them to a World Series.
Yeah. Altuve, he's on the IL, but he's apparently making really good recovery, and apparently he may not even need a minor league rehab stint. Jordan kind of started to turn it around. If you remember, he got pulled from one of the Cubs games for back spasms, and he sat the next day. And then he came back and just started mashing. I believe he had like 5 home runs in that Ranger series, and all of them were crushed like over 430 feet.
The Rangers looked at that ball and they didn't even try to rob it. They're just like, okay, that's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of the lineup, as long as the big people are producing, the lineup's going to be fine. I'm still a little worried about Isaac Paredes. He's had some moments, but he still hasn't really gotten it going yet. I feel like his baseball savant page is kind of caught up to him. He's not a guy who's high exit velo, high bat angle, bat speed rate, and I feel like that's finally starting to catch up to him a little bit. But I still believe in him. Solid defense, and he's a good guy to have on the team for now. So I just got to give him some. I would say he's having a down year because we're in June now. It's not. We can't say it's early anymore. So we just got to go from there.
But it's June 1st. We'll see what happens. But I will say this, and I still keep hearing the rumors. First off, I don't think Christian Walker's going anywhere. People are saying, "Oh, the Astros should trade Walker because of his salary, especially while he's doing well." Because he might do bad next year.
I've heard that he's kind of like stepped up. With Correa being injured, I feel like he's kind of like that veteran presence leader that those guys need out there.
Yeah, and I don't think we should trade Walker at all, especially now that he's found his comforting, or how are you going to phrase it? I guess his swing, yeah. Pretty much a swing now for a Minute Maid. Oh, sorry, Daikin.
Yeah.
Daikin Park. Sorry, Daikin. Don't harm me. Anyway, and if anyone's probably going to get traded, and this is a full 180 from like the offseason last year or whatever, but like Isaac is on the talking block there along with Yanir Diaz, or do you feel like we should keep him as the cheaper utility guy still going forward?
It's all just going to see what's going to happen at the All-Star break. I feel like the Astros are going to try and shed a little bit of salary because I know they have a lot of contracts coming up this offseason, and they're going to have some money to spend. But who knows? Maybe there's probably not going to be any baseball next year because of the lockout. There were some proposals already from both sides on salary caps and salary floors from the Players Association and the owners. And I'm like, I didn't know that they were like they did that during the regular season.
Yeah, honestly, I think if they both like baseball, then they will at least meet in the middle. Like, there's no way you can afford another lockout like you did last time, where there was only like 60 games played, I think, something like that. Like, because that hurts the owners. That's not good for the fans.
Players don't get paid.
Well, they're getting paid. They're pretty much the ones that probably are not getting hurt. But then again, your body gets used to a rhythm, so it probably does hurt them. When it comes to like injuries and stuff next year. Because imagine your body goes from 60 to then 160 games. So that's not good. So yeah, it's good that they just meet in the middle somewhere, and I hope
that's what we can hope for.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a round number; just somehow meet in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, with the proposed salary cap, I think there was like 7 or 8 teams that would have to shed a lot of money in payroll to get below that.
Yeah, so like, and I get it, some of these teams are going to be forced to do something they don't like, but it's good though. Like, if you're an owner and you're owning a baseball team and you can't afford to pay the minimum, the minimum salary to get the at least like I don't know, like a decent player like on your team, catch it with that salary, then what are you doing even owning a team?
Yeah, and there's players propose like salary floor and everything. So
yeah, I'm like, and listen, I know the Dodgers have still won 3 World Series in like 6 years, but other teams have proven you don't have to spend all the money in the world to buy a World Series. And on top of that, like the Blue Jays should have. I'm gonna say right now they should have won the World Series, but the baseball gods chose different, because the Blue Jays should have walked it off like probably 2 times, especially when that ball got stuck under their stadium. So sometimes that's all you can say is it's just baseball. So at least show your fans that you're trying. Like Jim Crane, I don't always like the moves he does, but at least I can say our owner is trying.
He's a polarizing figure. He's a guy who, says, as long as I'm here, the window's never going to close. But I have my indifferences with him. I believe this year he's trying to stay under the luxury tax, because apparently if you're like over the luxury tax for like 3 years in a row, you get like some heavy penalty. So I don't think he's going to go over it this year.
Yeah, and it may be. One of my criticisms is like, hey, he should spend a little bit more. But at the same time, with especially the names and stuff and the team that's on the field, or I should say, like, starting to come on the field, I can't say like he's not trying.
My biggest gripe with him is his like stance on long-term deals. Because Bregman, he didn't want to give Bregman more than like 5 years. He left. He didn't want to give Springer more than like 5 years. He left. So a lot of young players leaving because he does not want to hand out, put all his eggs in one basket essentially.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm in the same boat with you. I didn't want him to keep the core around until basically they retired. But obviously, he was indifferent about that, and there's something we can do to change it. But I'm happy he had enough common sense to be like, let's keep Altuve around as long as possible.
So kind of getting back into the health aspect of the team. The Astros, Josh Hader's coming back today. Taylor Trammell came back a couple days ago. Or like half a week ago. And Hunter Brown could be back like mid-June. So as we head into summer, and the Astros are playing good baseball right now, if we get healthy again and this team starts to get on a roll, because like I said earlier, the starting pitching has seemed to kind of find its mold as it's what it is now. The bullpen with Hader back is seemingly going to stabilize a bit more. I'm looking forward to the summer just to see what they can do. And over this last stretch, You remember when Alexander pitched Game 2 of the Astros Rangers and he gave up like 9 runs in the first inning?
Yep.
The Astros almost came back in that game. The Rangers had to put in their closer because it was like 7-9 or whatever.
Yeah. Like,
So
good.
So it's like the offense finding like ways to fight back is this. I was just going to point out it's like really positive.
Yeah. Basically, now that everything's coming together, now it's just up to Joe Espada, as far as like bullpen wise, being like, okay, Hader here. Let's try Abreu again here. See if he feels comfortable with that again. Maybe we have Santa as like the guy that passes a baton over to Abreu, and then Hader again, and hopefully your offense, lead you into really good, summer, like you said. And not only that, your pitching is starting to figure out, who they are, their identity, and that's a really great thing. Hunter Brown's coming back. And if we do end up having a really good summer, we're not selling at all. And if anything, I say we bring in a pitcher. Maybe a certain, I know he costs a lot, but maybe a certain Tiger, perhaps.
We're not. One can dream, man. One can dream.
I know. I'm gonna dream, but still.
My brother said, imagine the Brewers go all in and trade for Tarek Skubal, and then they have Tarek Skubal and Jacob Mizorowski as that 1-2. Both are lefties.
Yeah. Bro, imagine Hunter Brown and Tariq Skubal.
Hunter Brown, Tarek Skubal, Spencer Arrighetti, 1-2-3. Sign me up.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Astros, like we said, we're hoping for a good summer. We're praying for health and everything, I feel like Joe Espada has done a better job during this stretch managing this team bullpen-wise. But that game where the Astros lost to the Brewers in the extra innings, I feel like that was definitely a Joe Espada over-management game because, putting Abreu into that leverage spot was dumb, and then the Astros loaded the bases in the bottom of the ninth. But earlier in the game, he had put in Bryce Matthews for a defensive substitution, so Taylor Trammell wasn't going to be able to get in at bat. And, basically Bryce Matthews against their closer just went, good morning, good afternoon, good night on 3 pitches. And that game was definitely more so Joe Espada kind of over-managing than, whatever. But that's the one hiccup that we had on this stretch, I would say. I'm still not going to say Joe Espada's like the GOAT or anything, but health really is a big factor in where this team goes. And Joe Espada just making the right decisions and steering the ship when you have a lot of your players back from injury is going to make things a little bit easier, hopefully.
Yeah, and here's another question. So Joe Espada, this is the last year on his contract, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. Same with Dana Brown.
Dana Brown, depending on what he does at the deadline, that could save him ultimately. Maybe even Joe. But obviously, we see what Dave Roberts has done with an all-star team. Just because you're, I'm not going to say he's a bad manager. Really.
Dave Roberts is an okay manager. He's definitely not. He's definitely a product of the Dodgers, player development and everything.
But for you to feel good about Joe Espada, where is your standard for this season? Like, if they decide to re-sign him or bring him back, what do the Astros need to do?
They need to make the ALCS if they want to bring him back.
So it's ALCS or fire Dana Brown. I'm sorry, Joe Espada, or maybe both.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is with the American League being so wide open, and if the Astros have a good summer and going into the fall they start to look really, really good, and potentially leading the division or like one or two games back. The Astros could make it far. They have the pitch. I believe they honestly have the pitching when Hunter Brown comes back with Spencer and a couple other guys they get back, that they could make it far in the American League playoffs if everything's healthy and everyone starts contributing.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at too. And not only that, I think if you're Dana Brown, you have to cook this deadline. You have a decent amount of prospect that's shown they're MLB ready, that can be shipped off to a team that's looking to rebuild, that can get some MLB ready players, even with some controllable years too, mind you. I'm not just talking about the Astros prospects. I'm talking about like other teams' players too. Like Zach Cole, as much as we love him, he doesn't even need to stay. But for the right trade, he can go. And the only one that would be hard to move is Lambert. Him, I'm not moving unless I get like a really, really, really good pitcher back with a lot of years. You also have some guys that haven't even touched the majors that are really good too, like Jenkins and all that. Like Dana Brown, like he can cook this this deadline if he wants to. Like
yeah,
this,
I would like an established MLB outfielder. Because I mean, Taylor Trammell and Joey Loperfido have been good. Cam Smith has been good at times. They've been pretty much just replacement level at best. And I feel like if they want to go far, I feel like they need at least one established, consistent outfielder out there.
And that's another thing too. He has Cam Smith as an option to trade. And
I don't think we're trading Cam Smith.
Well, for the I don't know if you watch a lot of wrestling, but everything's got a price.
Everything's got a price, but I mean, everything's got a price, but it doesn't mean
Yeah,
I'm sure if like that's kind of like the thing with the Yordan Alvarez trade rumors. I'm sure the Astros, if someone calls, they'll pick up the phone, but there's nothing's going to come from that.
Yeah, but like Isaac Paredes too, for the right price can go. But
if they're like contending and they're like in first place and whatever, I don't think they're going to sell much, unless it's like a shed salary.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like even like if they're contending, like hardcore contending, like they're in like a wild card race, first place, whatever, he still can cook. Like he's got a lot of proven prospects because of the injuries, and that's actually a blessing about all this, is that you had to call up people to show something, and now these players, they got to show something, and now they got optioned back down or whatnot, and there's even a guy named Braden Schumacher who now has proven to be something to the point where you're going to keep him, and now there's no reason for you not to be like, okay, yeah, I'm nervous, I can't pull the trigger on like so and so trade. No, like if someone calls about Zach Cole, and I'm not saying the Marlins would do this, but if let's just say they're like, hey, would you trade Zach Cole and I don't know, some other prospect for Kyle Stowers? Do it.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would come to them with that call. But if they offer Kyle Stowers for Zach Cole and another prospect, I would hang up before they realize their mistake.
Yeah. I'm not saying like Kyle Stowers is one we would necessarily get, but you get where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have bait out there. It's just a matter of, no pun intended, are the fish going to bite? Yeah.
All right.
Also, he's like Freddy's,
Yeah.
You got him too. If you really, really want to get something great back, like a great outfielder back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're hitting about 35 minutes here. We're probably going to call it here. Astros have been playing some really good baseball recently. We're just going to see where they continue to go from here. I mean, I really feel like they hit rock bottom earlier in the season. I feel like it's like the economy. The economy crashes. The economy crashes. It feels like you're at rock bottom, but eventually it starts to go back up. I feel like that's kind of where we are with this team.
Yeah. Speaking of ridiculous trades, Dodgers, Enter Diaz for Shohei. Let's do it.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers keep $700 million or something. Pay all the Shohei money.
Yeah.
You see, it was kind of fun to see. It's kind of unfortunate that Murakami got injured because it was like Jordan versus Murakami for the AL lead in home run race, you know, and they were just like going back and forth with home runs last week, but Murakami unfortunately got injured.
Yeah, I wonder if Jordan's going to have to face Paul Skeens. I know we got the Pirates next.
Yeah, we're facing. That's so funny that we have to face Jacob Mizorowski, who's the best pitcher in the National League right now, versus, and then we have to face the next series, Paul Skeens, who's it's pretty much 1A, 1B with him and Mizorowski. So
yeah, but I'm not. Granted, I haven't looked at his stats, but from what I heard, Paul Skeens hasn't been like that good this year. I don't know if we face him. I'll have to look up pitching probables.
I think we do. Paul Skeens, who I mean, 6-5 with a sub-1 WHIP, sub-3 ERA. Yeah, this isn't like his best numbers, but that's still like an elite pitcher.
Yeah. Again, for Paul Skeens, not a good season, but for the Joe Schmoes out there, that's a great season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what game we face him. I think it might be the second or the third game.
Or we'll see. Let's just hope we get the dub somehow.
Well, we did last year. Last year we did face Paul Skeens and we did end up winning that game.
Yeah. Another thing is we got to watch out for O'Neal Cruz. He's been hitting tanks. I mean tanks.
Yeah, O'Neal Cruz. If you serve him a cookie, he's going to punish you. So.
Yeah. That Pirates lineup went from being like to
Spencer Horowitz, Brian Reynolds, Brandon Lau. You know, they got a fun. They got a fun team in Pittsburgh. You know, they got a fun team.
Yeah, for sure. Like that team can definitely hurt you if you let them.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're probably going to call it here. So. Astros face the Pirates starting tonight. I believe that Mike Burrows is on the bump for the Astros. And we're gonna try and get back to the series recaps, live series recaps, but can't guarantee everything, but because I got a busy time coming up for me next week. Over the next couple of weeks, I got family coming, people graduating, a trip I'm going on, so we'll try our best.
All we can guarantee is the Jordan tank. It's eventually going to happen.
And Kaiway the Highway. I can also guarantee that.
Yeah.
Kaiway the Highway and Spencer Spaghetti.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know anything else you'd like to see in comments. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys later.